Alrighty-o. This is May 3rd of 2024. And I opened up a new playlist. And I'm calling it Changing Lives. Because that's what Lady Jane in Uganda is saying about what I'm doing. Obviously, she's helping to do that because I couldn't do it without her help. Okay? So we're both changing lives. So, changing lives, happiness on a whole new level. Okay? Those are Lady Jane's words, not mine. Happiness on a whole new level. Because the family that she's currently working with, the mom who lost her husband to death, has several children, is struggling, obviously impoverished, in an area where there are no community resources when it comes to, I guess you could say, a government agency. And if there is, they're operating under limited resources where favoritism comes into play, where some people get more services where perhaps other people get less or none. In the case of the mom that we're helping with the children who lost her husband, she hasn't been getting any services. She is now, though, between myself doing what I'm doing here in Canada by forwarding money so that Lady Jane has money to buy the things that she needs to buy in order to help the mother stable out with having enough food for herself and her children, a roof on her home that was leaking prior to what just happened, which I'm going to be talking about in terms of she got a new roof. Lady Jane and I are working on putting in a floor of some kind. I'm not sure. I'm not there. I don't know if it's going to be a cement floor or a wood floor. Right now, Lady Jane is just pricing out materials as I'm forwarding a little money here and a little money there to help her with these more than one tasks. Okay? Plus, I'm doing email with Lady Jane, just throwing out ideas, saying, well, why not look for a sewing machine with a foot pedal on it, because there's no electricity, right? And see if you can find one, price it out, and hold on a minute. Okay, that was the delivery for the at-home program that is provided by the government for people on low income, to which I am considered that way. And what they provide are supplemental drinks for Amari because of his special needs. 8 boxes full. Oh my God. And they get heavy. Diapers. Obviously he's in diapers even though he's 6 years old. And Peg, which is a stool softener because of his situation, right? He can't run, walk, crawl, none of that stuff. So, he tends to bulk up. And then vitamin D, if I need it, as well as diaper wipes. And I get that delivered every month. I can go in 3-month increments if I wanted to, but the boxes, they start to pile up, right? So anyway, at this point, Mari drinks a fair amount of these drinks. He's very picky with his food, doesn't like to necessarily eat it, even if it's yogurt sometimes, like whatever. So we don't stress out too much about it at this point. Andre is going to try and help me, just even maybe a tablespoon at a time, because, you know, I don't like to force feed him, right? A tablespoon at a time, little bites, always seem to work good. I mean, obviously, if he's in the mood and he wants to eat it, then give him more than a tablespoon, but anyway, you know, 5 times a day, at least, including his drinks, right? Because, you know, eventually I do want to wean him off of these drinks, but it's like an addiction with him. He'll take the drink before he'll take food. So, of course, I don't pay for those things because that's provided for me by the government. All right. So, that's what that was the delivery. So now I'm back. All right. So, as I was saying, because the reason I mentioned that, and this is directed to Lady Jane, right? The woman that she's helping through her video, talking with Lady Jane to the best of their abilities with their language barriers, right? Because I guess the language of the mom is slightly different than what Lady Jane is familiar with. But they can still communicate, so that's good. She was like, I guess she asked where I get the money from, and like thank you, like she's trying to thank me, like, you know, she wondering where all of a sudden all this money is coming from. For me, it's a drop in a bucket. $200 pop is nothing. That's like peanuts in a bucket compared to what you can, I guess, buy in, well, no, I don't know, like, I mean, obviously the economy is different in Uganda. You would think that you'd get more for your money because of the type of economy that it's under, right? And depending on what you're buying and just who the vendors are and whatnot, I mean, but at the end of the day, $200, whether it's Canadian money or Ugandan money, isn't going to go very far. It's just a drop in the bucket when you're at the bottom of the barrel in terms of, you know, you're starting from the bottom, having to work your way up, okay? So, but for me, I'm at the point now where, you know, if I had to, and I'm serious, if I had to, because everything shut down in my economy, and it got reduced down to where people were standing in food lines in order to access their rations for the month, because that's all that was available to the public was rations, because we're now in the middle of a war economy, and the United States dollar collapsed, which is going to have a domino effect in Canada, and so on, right? I could, seriously, feed my family, no problem, for over a year without ever having to go to a grocery store. And that's all food groups. It doesn't necessarily mean that everything will be fresh off the vine, but when it comes to canned goods, canned fruit, canned vegetables, I have that base covered. When it comes to dehydrated goods, dehydrated food, I have tons of beans, tons of wheat, different kinds, right? Tons of, well, no, I wouldn't say tons of rice, but a lot of whole whack of rice. Plus, I've got dehydrated vegetables, okay? And then we've got all the miscellaneous stuff in between, not to mention my canned goods of canned vegetables that I can myself, plus my meat products, whether they're in cans, like from the manufacturer, or whether I home can them. I have milk powder in a jar that more than likely will probably still be good, even though there's an expiration on that kind of stuff, like it is with anything else that you do with when it comes to buying stuff, right? But because they've been sealed, sitting in one spot in a cool, basically dark place, chances are they'll be perfectly fine, which I'm going to start getting into soon. And even if they weren't, I could still reconstitute that milk. And if it was slightly sour, you can still use it. You can still use it for other things. So you're not really losing. But I don't think it's spoiled. But honestly, I've had milk downstairs sitting in jars, in a whole case or 2 or 3 of jars, not to mention in the 1 gallon size jars, tucked away here and tucked away there, that have been there for a couple of years, right? And they say use them up within, 9 months to a year. Well, when I get into my jars, we're going to find out, okay? And if, for whatever reason, well, I guess we'll be getting into buttermilk. I'm just saying. As long as there's no mold, you'll be fine. And because it's dry, there is no bacteria, right? It's just the fat in it might slightly change the taste of the quote-unquote milk, but it's in powder form, so as long as no moisture got inside, it will be fine. You cook with it. That's what you do. Okay, so with that said, I don't need to buy groceries. The only thing that I need to do is pay my rent and pay my bills, work on getting my grandson's teeth done over the next year in terms of everything and everything, all of it, and we'll be back to back to back, whatever, right? Amari's got some new leg braces coming that I'm asked to pay, I don't know, $450 for them, because that part isn't covered by my government. Why? I don't know, because I am on low income. Now, I could probably phone up somebody that works in that department with Amari through the Child Development Center that I'm connected with, and could probably put in a form to have the government pay for it under special circumstances, to which I probably should do. Seriously, I probably should. Otherwise, Tisha offered to pay half, and I'll pay half, right? So, but when it comes to quote-unquote food, my grocery bills are basically down to a bare minimum. Yeah, that tuna that I bought in bulk, that was my top off. That was the one thing that I didn't buy because, first of all, I'm not a big tuna fan, and neither is Andre, right? And we already know Amari's picky. So, but besides that point, just in light of what's going on in the world and da-dee-dee-da, it was a good time at $1 a can to stock up, and I did with no regrets. And I will be now trying to incorporate them more into, into the staple of daily living, I suppose. Not a lot, but here and there. So when it comes to making a donation to Uganda, compared to what I've done with food prep over all these last few years, again, it's just a drop in the bucket. Compared to what I've spent for the foundation in general, since the beginning of when I put it together, is less than a drop in a bucket. I'm telling you people, I have spent more than $50,000 written on the books. Money that I will never get back because my community didn't have the foresight to prepare for hard times that are coming. Because for whatever reason here in Canada, we're splintered. So much so that it's a dog-eat-dog world. Everyone for themselves. Get what you can by any means necessary, and to heck with everybody else. And that's why this nonprofit just sits on the server. But again, I've spent more than $50,000 that's written down. That's not including what I didn't write down. I just wrote it off. Instead of writing it down, I just wrote it off. But for the things that I did write, 50 grand. And what did I get out of it? Nothing. Nothing, people. Nothing. A headache. Right? In the end. Because I still believe in what I did. In terms of everything I wrote, why I did the things that I did, why I got the trademark name, the whole 9 yards. Because if I didn't believe in what I did, I wouldn't be helping Lady Jane right now. Okay. An unforgettable day in a single mother's life. All right, so it's a complicated subject in that, you know, anytime you're dealing with money, everybody gets their spidey senses going. And they get, you know, suspicious. It becomes like a witch hunt. Well, where did the money come from? What you doing with the money? Right? You know what I mean? Well, you shouldn't have spent it there. What gives you that right to spend it? You know? Or, where's my share? How come they get money but I don't? Right? I mean, I've been working on a nonprofit for a long time, people. It doesn't matter if it's $10, $200, $2,000. It doesn't matter. People go crazy over stupid money. Where me, it's like, I don't know. It's just like water off a freaking duck's back. People go crazy over money. Me, not so much. I don't worry about it, per se, as long as I can meet my bills. This year I plan on playing catch up with my debt load. But that debt load will be with me forever. So I ain't sweating it. If the nonprofit could give me back my $50,000, I'd have no debt load. So therefore it balances out. Right? I'm not sweating it. All right. But it's a tough subject because, you know, why am I doing this? Why am I giving a stranger in Uganda money? Well, because the title speaks for itself. And these aren't my words. These are Lady Jane's words. Changing lives. Happiness on a whole new level. Those are her words. So much so that I like those words. And as I was listening to her last two videos, right? She started talking like this. Because the reality of what I'm doing so that Lady Jane can do what she's doing is starting to kick in. Not only is it kicking in with the mom and the little kids, but it's kicking in with the surrounding community to one degree or another. Right? And they can't believe their lucky stars. Why a stranger from Canada would spend money that more than likely, quote unquote, I really can't afford. But you see, I think this is what I'm trying to tell you. You can afford it though. This is where I tell Lady Jane through Gmail, actions speak louder than words. Right? Right? I'm providing the action by making the donation so that she can go about with her actions so that as she's documenting what she's doing, that in itself speaks words. Right? And through that process, over and over and over and over again until we're satisfied with what we leave behind after we're done doing what we're doing between the two of us, right? I couldn't do it without her help, and she can't do it without my help. But after we're done and we get the mom with the children basically situated where she has more confidence in her own life and has more control of her own life, right? Then we can say we did a good job. But as we're doing this, though, it's Lady Jane who's noticing that we're changing lives. I'm not changing the lives here by myself. Lady Jane is, because she's out there doing a Mama Lynn. Only we call her a Lady Jane. Lady Jane is doing what I used to do when I used to go out in the community and do things for the community. I planted a community garden up by the strip with the homeless people. Okay? In those days, I don't think I had a camcord because, I don't know, no camera, because that was in 2008 or something like that. And I didn't have a recorder. So the best I got was a few pictures out of it. But I had a community garden up by the homeless shelter for a half a year and a bit, right? That fed a lot of people as I was working on the foundation. Lady Jane is kind of doing something similar, right? When I lived at Gateway Place, I'd go out and I took a little, we came in with playground restoration. Home Depot came in and helped with that. They did donation, but I dug in my pocket, bought food, cooked for them. I provided the music with the DJ equipment for the day, right? But at the end of the day, the playground got restored. Well, that's what Lady Jane is doing right now. She's helping the mom with the 3 kids. Well, I don't know if she has 3 kids. I think she's got more than 3 kids. She has more than 3 kids. She's working on the woman's house, which is, you can see. Okay, I don't see as well as you people, but I can see that. That's a brick with mortar in it. Okay? So that's a brick wall. She wants to buy cement to patch up holes that have, because this is an old structure. You can see on this side we've got some wood of some kind, right? The roof was leaking. It's just a metal roof, so she found some workers, took the money I gave her, and went off and bought metal sheets, nails, cut some deals with the workers, the men. She calls them engineers. And I'm chuckling to myself saying, okay, the guy has no shoes on, but obviously he knows what he's doing. Just saying. God forbid, come to Canada and you have to have work safe. You got to have a hard hat on. You've got to have your vest on with the neon colors with the big X on the back. You got to have steel-toed boots, right? Not in Uganda. They can come with barefoot and all, right? So I'm just saying. Do you see this here? This is a door. I asked Lady Jane to talk to the engineers about removing this curtain, because this is an entranceway, about removing this curtain and actually putting a door on there with a lock. Yeah, because with the high level of poverty in the area, because we're dealing just with a village that has basically been abandoned by its federal government, I would say. And it's like that throughout Uganda. That's not to say all areas are impoverished, but definitely, financially on the short end of the stick here. there's thieves, but then, because she mentioned she worried about thieves coming, and she telling the mom to go in at night to protect everything so that she doesn't get robbed. And I'm like, well, why? Why would people want to rob from the mom with the children, knowing that whatever the mom is getting is via through donation, and they should be happy that the children are in a better situation, right? In terms of that's where their wealth is in their children, not in their bellies for the moment. Like, who steals from children, right? But human nature is human nature. And she says, well, unfortunately, people steal in Uganda. They like to come at night. And I'm like, yeah, I know that, because we got that problem here in Canada. We got people who like to steal too. We've got the little petty criminals that go running around, stealing petty things for petty reasons or whatever. And then we've got the big fish stealing body parts through illegal organ harvesting. So, God forbid, right? So with that said, I don't want anything that Lady Jane is doing for this woman to get stolen, right? And I certainly want this woman to feel safe, right? Knowing that she can, because apparently I don't know if she likes to. She doesn't have too many options, people. Where's the mom? Let's see if we can find the mom. This is Lady Jane that we're looking at here. Let's see if we can find mom so we know who we're talking about. There's mom right here. Oh, here's mom. Here's the little baby boy. He reminds me of my grandson, Kyrie. He's so cute. And then there's Lady Jane. This is her. And then here's another little boy that reminds me of Kyrie as well. My little grandson, Kyrie, Tisha's son, right? He's so polite. He's so polite, right? Now, this was the first time Lady Jane came by and said, here's some food. A lady from wherever, Canada, got some food. Here's a little food for your family. Because what happens here, people, now I don't know a lot about Uganda, but I came across an article, because we're talking, I'm giving Lady Jane things to think about for a shopping list. I told her I only have so much time to do things. My time is limited because I'm going blind. Okay? If I felt that I couldn't do it, I wouldn't do it. But for everything that I've done over the years, this just feels right. Okay? If I can do all those other things that I did, have the foundation owe me 50 grand and never get it back, I can do this. Because this is where actions speak louder than words. And with the actions so far, it is now Lady Jane who's coming back and telling us that lives are being changed and happiness with the children, and including mom, and she has more than two, right? She also has a little girl. I don't know if maybe this is the little girl here, and then this is her little boy. But she's got more than two children, right? So anyway, this is where the happiness is going to a whole new level. Because on this video, the mom was so happy to get the food. I think the children were in awe. They couldn't quite figure out what was going on. Okay, you have to remember they were lucky to eat one meal a day, and where that meal came from was a hit and miss, because the mom was having to go out into where things grow and dig for roots. What kind of roots? I don't know. Yams, maybe? Sweet potato? I don't know. I think they eat banana leaves. I don't know. I just know that Lady Jane was saying she's digging all the time, digging, looking for food. In the community that Lady Jane works in, there's another little boy who lost his parents, 11 years old or something like that, and he eats dirt. Only it's a special kind of dirt. And of course he has to cook it to kill off the bacteria. But apparently that's how he survives, right? Because there's no one there to look after him, because they don't have social safety nets. So in one hand, social safety nets are good because look at me. I get the supplemental drinks for Amari, I get the diapers, yada-dee-ya, I get financial support, yada-dee-da. We've got the healthcare system with the, support teams, yada-dee-ya. But then on the other hand, we also have the higher corruption where somehow through that process, families like mine, we kind of become cattle where at some point our numbers get called, like Shimei, like Sierra, you could even say Uncle John, where, it goes to a whole new level where illegal organ harvesting becomes the precedence and murder by fentanyl is covered up by the cops because of the corruption that I guess you could say money brings. Right? Lack of money, I don't think necessarily brings corruption as it brings apathy. Apathy, this is recording, yeah. Apathy is where you don't care. You stop trying. Just hold on a minute. Okay, my eyes are fried. Now, I had to call Andre over. I don't know what I was talking about, but I'm sure I'll get right back to it. I had to call Andre over to be my eyes for me. And I asked him, do you see this child? I'm not sure if this is the little girl or another little boy. Either or, it doesn't matter. Do you see the child's hair? I said, first of all, Andre, does the child have hair? He said, yes. I said, what color is the hair? He said, gray. I don't know. Was the child running around in the dust? Or maybe the child is malnutritious, is suffering from malnutrition. Because you have to remember, the mother, her husband died. I don't know how her husband died yet. I haven't asked Lady Jane. I'd like to know. But I guess in rural areas where there's poverty, right? And clearly this is where we're at. In a rural area where there's some level of poverty. Okay. When a African woman from Uganda's husband dies, basically, she owns nothing. Because she was the property of the man. Now, I just looked up, because today I emailed Lady Jane with another idea. Okay, this is not how I wanted to make this video, but people, these are things that need to be discussed. This is stuff that needs to go into your short-term memory through that hippocampus so that you can log it away into your long-term memory. And if you ever come into a situation where you can make a difference, a real difference to change lives and bring happiness to a whole new level, you can't let apathy or just a bad attitude, or whatever you want to call it, negligence, get in the way of making that happen. You have to lead by example. Actions speak louder than words. I can't stress it enough. So that's what I'm doing with Lady Jane. Our actions, my actions, her actions are speaking louder than words. Because what you're going to be witnessing here over the next, I would suspect, several months, not on a daily, regular basis. She has her life, I have my life. But between the two of us, we're changing lives here, people. And if this child here is malnutritious, is suffering from malnutrition, is suffering from malnutrition, it's not at the hands of the mother not feeding the child. It's at the hands of the circumstances, because these are special circumstances where her husband died, and because he died, she was left with nothing. And her family members, I guess the father, like the husband, I guess the husband's family members are not obligated to take responsibility for her when the husband dies. I think that responsibility goes more towards her family, the mother's family. But if the mother's family is poor through generational manufactured poverty, even in Uganda, there's a reason why they call it manufactured poverty. That's not isolated to the province of British Columbia, Canada, you know. Anyway, if her mother, father, brothers, sisters, aunts, and uncles are barely making it themselves because of the economy being oppressed, where there's a fair amount of poverty, or those living at the line of poverty, or just barely above the line of poverty, they're not going to want to take on their sister with her brood of children, even though they sympathize and feel sorry for her because her husband died. Right? Which leaves her with nothing, because the government isn't there to help. Unlike in Canada, the government helps me. It's just, I happen to be a gambler. I've been gambling a long, long time. Okay? I haven't folded my hands on the nonprofit yet. What do you think that $50,000 bet was? Right? I don't expect to get my money back. But with my experiences, I know the difference between right and wrong. I know when to fold my hand, and I know when to play my hands. And this is a time to be playing my hands. Not because I'm trying to win, because I don't need to win, people. There's nothing for me to win. I can feed my family for well over a year without going to a grocery store, not even for 5 seconds. Okay, so it's already a slam dunk for me. I'm just saying. I don't want any more cans of tuna. Okay? I'm just saying. What I want to do is help someone like these people, the mom with the children, and the surrounding community, to build in some safety nets where that level of apathy that's connected to poverty, I don't want to say be cured, because it's like a cancer, it spreads, right? But at least turn it around a little bit. And, you know, give other people a fighting chance, especially children, right? If mom is going to go out with her gumboots on, digging in dusty dirt, looking for little pieces of food so her children have something to eat at least once during the day, as she's crying for her husband, not understanding why he's gone, left with the burden that she has, as if it wasn't hard enough while he was alive, but it just got 1,000 times harder, because now she becomes kind of shunned in the community because she represents a burden, right? You know, no husband to look after her and bringing home the bacon. You know, that's what we say in Canada. You know, dad goes to work and brings home the bacon. Well, there is no dad to bring home anything for these children. And because she's single now, it's a taboo. Not that she chose to be that way. And even if she did get pregnant and chose to keep her kid as an unwed mother, right? That doesn't mean that she can't be a good mom, be a productive member in society, and have a prosperous and fruitful life. But we're dealing with, you know, traditional cultures, taboos. You know, my next question, I don't think so, but I keep asking Lady Jane all these questions. And just with my community activism with African families from different parts of Africa, when I lived at Gateway Place, some of the children were coming in female circumcision. I think it's mainly Muslims that do that. So, you know, are we dealing with a community that practices that? And if so, you know, we need to change that. I don't even want to call it a tradition, because it shouldn't be a tradition, because it can cause a lot of serious problems for girls, period, right? I mean, there's so many complications around female circumcision that, you know, it's dangerous, seriously. So, you know, I'd like to know, is she coming into contact where, you know, people are practicing this in her village? And if so, why? And do they fully understand the full ramifications around such practices when it comes to permanent injury and harm to women and their private parts and birthing canals and that type of thing, right? Because you have to remember, they don't have hospitals like us. They can't just go off and have a C-section while the doctor that does the C-section makes 20 grand. Okay. So, but mom, you know, she digging in the dirt looking for scraps of food. Basically, a potato, a sweet potato, something, some kind of roots. Like a sweet potato or a yam is kind of like a root, right? Like they're looking for certain things that are growing in the ground. And that's basically was pretty much all she was being able to feed her kids, from my understanding, people. And that's why Lady Jane took her some beans, rice, cooking oil, whatever. Not once, but now twice, because I've done 2 donations, right? And what little she gave her the first time wasn't enough, because the majority of that went to the other child who lives somewhere else, who lost her mother, is raising 2 of her siblings on her own, and she's only 11 years old. As she's trying to run a small business just to have enough, I guess, money to be able to feed her, an 11-year-old, and her 2 younger siblings. Well, another sibling, I guess somebody else took the child because it was more infant, right? Like a toddler, too young. Too young for the 11-year-old to look after by herself as she's cooking pancakes on the roadside so that she can continue feeding her siblings. Okay? That was the first donation. Lady Jane gave her the most of everything. But I told Lady Jane, you know, put off a little aside and make a food hamper for the surrounding community, 1 or 2 people, because in this way we're not breeding quote-unquote jealousy, because, you know, well, why did she give to her and not to me, kind of thing. You know, people just naturally get jealous, especially if they need it themselves, right? And also, too, just to give, to let other people know that we haven't forgotten about them and that there are others out there in the world that care, right? Because sometimes when you're sitting in a situation like this, basically by yourself, abandoned world, the world just keeps on going by, right? And, you know, people are expecting way too much of you to fend for yourself when it's practically impossible, right? You know, that's what I mean by apathy, right? It doesn't matter where you go. You can walk down Surrey streets and find homeless people laying up on the street, sleeping on the hard concrete cement, right? And people just keep on walking and don't even bat an eye. While some of this is going on in this community where people are just, you know, they could afford to help a little bit, but they're not. Because, you know, they're looking to gain more personal wealth for themselves. Give me my $50,000. Then maybe I'll help you. You must be nuts. If you've already spent $50,000 on a nonprofit that never worked, why would you continue trying to help people? You think you'd learn your lesson. But that's the devil speaking, people. That's the one that wants the suffering in the world. You can't let the devil control you. Okay? So this is where actions become louder than words. Remember, poof, once you're gone, once you die, nothing moves except you. Everything else stays behind. All right? You're the only thing that's gone. Anything that you leave behind is what is left. If you want to leave bad things behind, then that's what you'll leave. If you want to leave good things behind, then that's what you'll leave too. I choose to leave good things behind, people. Okay. Andre? No. This is hard for me to get my message across. So Mom is digging. Lady Jane noticed it. Could see this family was struggling. Right? She made a food hamper. Took it to Mom. Mom didn't expect it. The children are like, what's going on here? Not really knowing what to think. Right? And then Mom mentioned, well, gee, now that we've done this, you know, if I had a wish, because I guess Lady Jane asked her, well, what's your wish? If you had a wish, what would you wish for? You could almost say that happened. And Mom said, well, my roof is leaking, the rains are coming, everything's getting wet, I don't, you know, whatever. And so, right, Lady Jane expressed that in her video. Of course, I heard it. I know what it's like to have a leaky roof. I got one on my porch, been dealing with it for 14 freaking years. It drives me nuts. It's not easy, but I don't have to sleep in it. Okay? And so, yeah, I said, here, Lady Jane, here's a bit more money to follow up on the roof. So she's done that. And she's been recording, and she's got videos up around that. And honestly, I do want to have her videos play and record and talk. But I also feel that this is important, though, because my end game here is more than twofold, really. One, help the people. Help the mom with the kids. Help the 11-year-old with her siblings. And if we can help a couple more in there along the way, even if it's just a bit of food, that'd be great. But for now, our focus is just on the two, right? No point in giving bags of beans, bags of rice, bags of maize if they're in plastic bags and there's no place to put them away from rodents and bugs. So the last time I gave money to Lady Jane, I said, see if you can fit in some food grade buckets. So her more recent videos, she brought in two of them for this lady here. And I guess she mentioned that she gave also a couple to the 11-year-old child. Okay, who lives on her own. looking after her two siblings, trying to eke out a living that her mother taught her before she died, how to make flapjacks and sell them so that she had money to buy even a little something for herself and her siblings. And I guess food, to be rice or whatever she makes, which actually I was watching a video where she was making these little rice balls, frying them, and to be honest with you, they kind of look good. After my kitchen is cleared out, I'm going to ask Lady Jane to get me the recipe, and I'm going to try it for myself, make some Uganda rice balls in my kitchen in my wok. Oh yeah, I'm just not ready for that yet, but we will. That's going to be so good, because that little girl, she was frying that stuff up, and I'm like, oh man, those look good. I can only imagine what they taste like, right? And you have to admire her. She's 11 years old, for crying out loud. But then when I was 11 years old, people, I had taken on the role of a mother, right? I was cleaning house. I was washing 10 loads of laundry on a Saturday in an old Wringer washing machine with the, the wringer, right? You have to run the clothes through the wringer. Oh my God. And then empty out the tub, fill up the tub, put the clothes back in to rinse them, and then run them through the wringer. And then I'd have to hang them outside on a Saturday, 10 loads. Okay? I'm just saying, not including cleaning house, everything, dishes and all. Okay? I was 10 when I did that, people. Okay? It makes you stronger. However, in these situations, it does not have to be so dire. I didn't have to worry about going hungry. There was always food in the house. It's just, I don't know. I guess my mom figured she was teaching me something. And she did, but no, it was too much for a 10-year-old. But I did it, because if I didn't, I'd get the belt on my ass, on a bare bottom. And we're talking a leather belt. All right? So, with that said, and that's not necessarily true. I did get the belt on my ass, bare bottom, but it wasn't because I didn't want to do 10 loads of laundry. I just knew better. Don't squawk. If Mom says do 10 loads of laundry in a Wringer washing machine, you do it. How that all came about, I don't know. But then don't forget, I also had a lot of freedom when I was young. Andre, turn that down. Please. Andre!
I have to get the remote.
He's into rock and roll now. He's so lucky. All these songs that he listens to, I have the albums, the records. He doesn't even know. Anyway, there's a fine line in there, right? So basically, my goal here, people, is to help Lady Jane, help this lady with her children, to gain confidence, I suppose, of being a single mother with responsibilities where through time and support, she will be successful at that. And will have the confidence to, gain control of her life, where she'll be the best mom she can be under harsh circumstances. So that's where the sewing machine comes in. I asked Lady Jane to look for a foot pedal sewing machine. You have to use a foot for it because there's no electricity. Because if we can find one that's affordable, and if she's interested in it, then there's lots of things she can do with that. She can make blankets with the old clothes that she's not using anymore. She can make clothes for her own children. She can make clothes for herself. She might even be able to make clothes for orders that are coming in from the community. Who knows? Lots of things can happen with a sewing machine. I discussed with Lady Jane this morning about a goat. I asked her, do the children get any type of protein? Absolutely none. Absolutely no protein. If this is not dust in the child's hair, because it's dusty, so maybe the child was in the dust, so it could be dust. But I have worked with children that have come with hair that is not the right color because of malnutrition while being in refugee camps waiting to come to Canada. But then again, I've said it before, having children, vulnerable families from Africa coming to Canada isn't necessarily a good thing for them either, people, because what happens is they get locked into, many of them, if not most of them, into that manufactured poverty, get employed into lower paying jobs, and then because of the corruption within our communities and the lack of government accountability, the kids grow up and then become targeted for body parts because of the illegal organ harvesting activities that go on in Canada, in British Columbia, Canada. They're not targeting Punjabis for illegal organ harvesting. No, they're not. They're not targeting the Syrians per se, right? The Muslims per se for illegal organ harvesting. No, they're not, right? Because, you know, they're a tight network Muslim, Syrian community. They're not targeting per se the Hindus because they're like the Punjabis. They're not targeting the Chinese. No, they're targeting the Caucasians, the blacks, and the Native Indians, the First Nation people. Safer to have them in their own countries and help them in their own countries. At least they're not going to be targeted for their organs, for illegal organ harvesting, so some other ethnic group can get rich off the back of harming others, because that's basically what it boils down to. So I suggested a goat for milk. Lady Jane said they don't drink goat milk in Uganda as a rule, even though it's very nutritional. But then that probably has something to do with it's a man's business, because the people who own the goats are the men. And therefore, they mainly keep the goats for meat, and that's their commerce, where the women are left with everything else when it comes to looking after the house, the children, yada-dee, 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 yah. So we'll start with one goat, maybe, if she can find one, that first of all will be a great pet for the children, because goats are actually very friendly and they're protective as well, right? So I could see the goat becoming kind of like part of the family as like a pet. And if it's a milk, I don't know how, I don't know anything about goats. I just know that they produce milk, and you can make cheese, you know, goat cheese. You can drink the milk, right? You cook with it. You know, you can make soap with it or whatever, right? And, you know, that will provide a little bit of protein with, you know, the calcium, and it has vitamin A in it, or it helps with vitamin A. It has added nutrients that the children could benefit from. So Lady Jane is on the hunt she's shopping for a goat now. At first she was a little reluctant, but then, you know, I sent her a couple of articles. I guess there's some sort of non-profit organization that does provide goats to women that are impoverished and basically on their own to help them to, you know, build on incomes where they can support their families. Only they do it with like 10 or 20 goats at one time and they call it a center, where I'm just thinking just as, like I said, it'd be more like a pet that provides food, right? And if they don't want to drink the milk, they can always make soap, right? But their goats are small, and that's why they're, like in Uganda, apparently the men, they just, and I just read one article, so I'm not no expert on this, but the men, their goats, they tend to be a little small, right? Because you want a goat that's kind of like used to the environment, right? And they don't cause any damage to the environment, right? But you can get about a pint of milk out of a goat every day, which is about 2 cups of milk, which is a lot. And then I just told Lady Jane, if for whatever reason, you know, she's getting too much milk from one goat, she can always give to her sister or somebody else, right? Give them a few recipes, give them a few ideas, right? Explain the nutritional value around the milk. I mean, what mother wouldn't want to feed it to their children if it was available, especially if they didn't have much to choose from to begin with. So, maybe a goat might show up on scene yet. We'll have to wait and see. So we've got a goat on the wish list. We've got a sewing machine with the foot pedal on the wish list. I've already taken care of the roof, right? I want to make sure it doesn't leak though, so Lady Jane's gonna have to make sure there's no leaks in there. We're working on a floor. I'm going to send her a bit more money so she can put in a floor. I don't know if it's going to be a subfloor, a cement floor. I would think it would probably be maybe a cement floor because it would help to keep the inside of the house cooler. Whereas if you used wood, you'd have to use a subfloor, and that could attract rodents underneath in between the floorboards, like in between the studs, right? So it'd probably be some kind of a cement floor. I don't know. But I could see it being a cement floor because the cement will keep the inside cooler. And it would probably be easier to clean as well, right? And then I requested for Lady Jane to make inquiries about a door, an actual door going on the entrance, you know, being installed on the entrance, right? With a lock and key. So that if Mom has to leave for any reason, whatever that reason is, she can lock it up, and hopefully that will keep theft at bay in terms of if somebody wanted to come and rob her of her food that was basically donated to her from Canada. But that could happen anywhere. It could happen here too. Right? So that's on the wish list, a door with a lock and key. Lady Jane is looking around for a mattress because the one that she had got ruined. Just bring it to something else here. See, I can't see. Yeah, see, this is the door frame. You can see clearly, right? And then do you see this? This is curtain. That's the entrance. I also asked Lady Jane to look for solar panel or something. She said you can buy like a lantern or some kind of light or something that can be solar powered or charged somehow, some way through electricity. because the mother here has no electricity of any kind, right? And I can only imagine what it would be like in the dark, waiting for morning to come. So it would be great if she could get a lantern or two where it's solar powered of some kind, some way. Yeah. And then, of course, you know, chalkboard with some chalk and maybe some little paper and pencil or something, crayons or something, a few toys, whatever. Basically, it's up to Lady Jane what she, you know, thinks is the precedence in terms of what's most important. So that's where we're going with this. So now I'm going to go back to this. Where am I? So this is my new playlist regarding this matter. I may change the order of this. I'm having a difficult time. Andre, please. I'm having a difficult time. I don't want to say staying focused, but explaining myself to where it becomes self-explanatory. Because there's going to come a day when I just won't be around. But I still want it to be self-explanatory to some degree or another. And that's why I gave what's happening here its own playlist. Because I don't plan on dropping the ball anytime soon. Right? I know what works and what doesn't work. I know that if you give somebody enough support long enough, chances are that person's confidence is going to grow and they're going to take control of their lives, get more creative, become entrepreneurs or whatever. Right? You know, right? That's what that sewing machine is. Right? That's what that goat is. The goat might forever remain to be a pet, or maybe it might become the first stepping stone for a business where mom will be able to generate a decent income to look after her kids and perhaps even start to help somebody else in her own community. Because by then I'll be gone and I won't be there to help. And I can't guarantee that anybody's going to take my place. So you teach a man to fish before you just give them the fish. So that's what we're doing here. We're giving them the fish, but we're also giving them the opportunity to teach themselves how to fish and be creative to go get more fish. And then once they feel that they have enough, as long as the greed doesn't start to consume them, and that's what they want, is more fish, more fish, more fish, more fish. So much fish that they don't know what to do with that fish because they're addicted to the idea of having tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of fish because for whatever sick reason, it represents wealth. Well, as long as they don't go in that direction, then at some point they'll be helping other people as in how they were helped, to get to the point where they could even be in a position to help other people. That's my goal, to help this woman get to a point where she can be in a position to help somebody else in her own community without relying on outside sources from Canada or anywhere else in the world, for that matter. Because that you can't depend on. Because poof, I could be here today and then poof, I could be gone tomorrow. Nothing will move except me and everything else will stay behind. Well, at least I left a nice roof for a family who really needed it. At least I left happiness on a whole new level. Yeah. But I also want to make sure that that happiness remains without me being there. And that's why we're going to try the sewing machine. That's why we're going to try perhaps a goat. Right? In terms of it provides new calories to the diet and new experiences, new skills, and then perhaps even new opportunities. So, I don't know. I'm almost done. Andre, I'm almost done. I don't know if I'm doing this correctly. Now, I put this more recent video, number 61, as the first one. Because I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to introduce what I'm doing here to this playlist. Because I make mention of Lady Jane in this video, as I'm talking about the mattress in the bedroom here that I took apart from down, right? I took apart Tisha's mattress. It was out in the garage, and I brought it up, put it on the bed, and, and now Lady Jane's dealing with the mattress, So, I don't know, saying waiting for video. So the videos are up now, so that's why I kind of put that there. And then this one here was number 58. My problems should be a cakewalk, right? Right? This is all introduction, okay? And then, with the first donation, surprise from Canada, in this video, right, it's the little girl, the 11-year-old little girl, who's fending for herself and looking after her siblings, right? And Lady Jane goes and gives her a whole bunch of food and stuff like that, right? And then, of course, I'm trying to bring it to my viewers. I don't know how to explain it, though, because I'm just doing. This is where actions are speaking louder than words. I'm trying to wrap my head around this because, first of all, I just jumped into it. Like, I asked Lady Jane a few questions. She answered them. And I said, to heck with it. Let's do it. Right? So I'm playing hardball here. Right? And that's why I'm not dropping the ball. Okay? And that's why we're starting to change lives. Because I'm not dropping the ball, people. Right? If anything, I'm adding on to the wish list. Okay? Because I know what works. Because even though I never lived in a hut with a curtain for a door, I know what it means to be struggling like that woman struggling with her family with limited to no resources. Okay? And then, of course, happiness on a whole new level. And that's the way it should be for children. It should be an automatic. It should be a given. And anytime that you can bring happiness to children like that, that's what's going to get you through the pearly gates. Not that you're buying your way through, but that's the meaning of life. I'm serious. At the end of the day. Because when you're in a situation like mine, where you have a lot of stuff. Can you fix them up, please? That trigger word. And you start going blind to where that stuff at some point becomes really insignificant. Not to mention, when I go, poof, I'm gone. Nothing moves except me and everything else stays behind. Like when Shimei left, poof, Shimei died, was gone. Everything else stayed behind. Right? John, poof, he was gone. Everything else stayed behind, and so on and so on. Well, I don't know. Your perception on life changes. It really does. But then, I've never been a selfish person to where I needed 2,000 tons worth of fish in order for me to feel like I had self-worth. Okay. So then I guess this one here, let's play hardball, Mama Lynn style. Well, yeah, we're playing hardball here, okay? We're not dropping the ball, that's the first thing, right? We're going to give this mother with her children a fair fighting chance, And we're not going to forget the little girl that's struggling on her own without parents, And for whatever reason, you know, there's issues going on in the community, that, you know, some of this happiness will become infectious, and it's going to infect other people, and other people are going to get involved once they realize that, you know, it's something that I don't want to say you have to work on, because ultimately it just comes, right, in terms of happiness, right? But at the end of the day, you know, if you don't work for things, you don't get it. And I'm not even saying that correctly. There's a better way of saying it. Right? Anyway. Okay. And then I put the unforgettable day in a single mother's life. All right? This is where Lady Jane, this is the one video that we're looking at right now, where she just shows up out of the blue and says, here's some food. And the lady says, what? Yeah. And the little boy there standing on, you know, beside his mom is looking and doesn't know what to think, being so polite. I'm like, just so polite. Like, seriously, man, he's so cute. Let's see. Oh, my Lord. He's just so polite. Yeah, you're looking at it. She looking, everybody. Mom doesn't know what to think. Clearly, Mom is overworked. You can see. Because she's digging, worrying, wondering where she's going to get food. Right? Well, you never know. She might end up becoming a famous fashion designer yet. Or maybe she'll make blankets. Right? Children's blankets become famous. It could be anything. Right? Maybe she'll start making soap or something. Right? You know what I'm saying? Anything. But she won't do any of that, people, unless we give her an opportunity to at least try. Right? That's what I mean by you kind of have to, you know, present this. You have to present the stage. You have to present the opportunity. Right? And opportunities, yeah, they come knocking. But at the end of the day, you have to create them, which is kind of like a form of work, right? So that's what I'm doing. I'm just creating opportunities here. Right? I'm not doing a one-time donation, walking out the door thinking that I'm not obligated to follow up on the situation at hand here. Not that I'm obligated to anything, because I'm not. I just been working on the foundation for so long that, you know, I like it when Lady Jane says, I'm changing lives. That makes me feel good. I like it when she says the children... Here, let's go find another video. I like it, the more recent one. I like it where she says that there's happiness on a whole new level. That makes me feel really, really good. And I wish the world could be like that more. More people could just go off and randomly find someone that they can help to help others, so that lives are being changed. Right? Okay. So, I don't... Lady Jane does things. I don't know. I guess she's trying something new with her channel here. But besides that point, first time roofing a house for a young widow in the countryside. Okay. So I wanted to
going from survival mode.
just hold on a minute.
Whole life.
Okay, so this video is already long enough in terms of what I want to do. What I want to do is start from the beginning. Okay? Because I've already given you the history of how this is all coming about. Okay? And I've already posted her first two videos into my playlist. right? Surprise from Canada, and then an unforgettable day in single mother's life. I'm going to convert this video over. It will be number 6, as I think I've got 5. And then number 7, after I've got this going, right, converting and everything, what I'd like to do is just come in and start from the beginning. Andre, shush up. Oh, it's hard for me to focus when he's talking. Shut up. Okay, what I'd like to do is start from the beginning, like now, and just run it through and do my walk and talk with it. Right? But I'd start a new video because this one's probably over an hour and a half long now already. Just with me yattling on about whatever I was going on about.
Yesterday I tried to ask for the price of cement and the price.
Yeah, she's asking for cement because not only does she want to fill up some holes to keep bugs and rodents and or whatever out, right? And to provide structural repair to the building itself so it doesn't crumble, right? But she may, I think she's also making inquiries about a floor because it's a dusty floor, right? It's dirt floor, right?
Of the sand, because down here.
So you see, yeah, these are bricks. But the building itself is old, so they're going to have to maybe do a few touch-up repairs, right? Now this is Lady Jane. I advised her to get out there and get her hard hat on. Right? You know, record the process so that people can learn to trust the process, right? Explain what's going on, right? And that's what she's doing.
Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I have my fundi here.
See? If we were in Lady Jane, if he was working in Canada, he couldn't go to work unless he had steel-toed boots on, a hard hat, and something really bright, yellow, neon, orange, some kind of, jacket, something so that, you could see him 2 miles away, right? And he'd have to be signed up with WorkSafe BC and, oh yeah, like it's completely 2 different worlds we got going on here, Lady Jane. But you got to admire the guy. He's up there. He's working.
The one working in the house. But before we go there, thank you guys for the massive support. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for coming to the rescue of this woman. I'm so glad. Guys, there is a way I'm not feeling well this morning. It's morning, but the sunshine is already up. But it is okay. So guys, as I was still telling you guys, if you are new here, please consider subscribing, hit on that notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I post a video. And another thing, guys, to my returning subscribers, thank you so much for coming back to watch my video. Thank you for clicking. Thank you for supporting in any way or the other. By subscribing, you are supporting the channel. By liking, you are supporting the channel.
Wait a minute. What's this? See, I don't see very well. Look at that. Isn't that nice? Do you see that? What is that? That's nice. Looks like a bed frame.
To explain, yesterday, when we were going to buy the material, we first bought the iron sheets. They are here. We first bought...
Yeah, iron sheets for the roof. Okay.
They rolled them like this, that is heavy really. We first bought the iron sheets first because the...
What is this? Look. That's a nice post. Yeah.
Iron sheet is a bit expensive, but I will put everything in the description down below. Why I started with the iron sheet, because they are a bit expensive. So before I spend money in maybe food, I will buy food later, guys. After.
Yeah. I mean, we're clearly dealing with high-ticket items here, but, you know, she's managing with what little bit that I'm spending in terms of donating money to her to do these things, and I'm glad that it's balancing out, because if I had to do what she's doing here in Canada, oh my God, there's no way. There's no way. I can't even fix my roof, for crying out loud, out on the porch, to which technically isn't even my responsibility, people. That's the landlord's responsibility. But besides that point, just to do the roof on my little porch would cost me $800 or more to get it done correctly. Correctly, that is. I'm not spending that. I can't afford that. There's no way. Where at a fraction, she's coming along with not only the laborers, but she's also getting the nails and the sheets, and she managed to squeeze in a bit more food and some sheets. But she's short on a mattress yet, because the one that was there got rained on, and it's kind of no good no more.
I'm done with the house.
So I guess this is the inside of the house, and here you can see the roof. It's open now. They took everything off. So the size of the house is not it's just one room, right? It's just a one-room structure with a metal roof on it.
After I'm done with the house, because the work here is really expensive, guys. It is on another, like, I didn't know that it will be all this expensive.
See? She didn't know it was going to be that expensive, because how would she know, right? So, by me doing what I'm doing, I'm giving her opportunity to gain some new skills, get some insights into things that she never had insights in, right? Providing opportunities for her to gain more knowledge about certain things, right? So that if she needs to deal with something, she's got some experience and she's got a better idea of how to manage the problem if a problem should arise, right? You know?
Expected like maybe to use like $50 only, but it is beyond it.
Okay, so she mentioned $15 for labor. She was expecting $15 for labor. That shows you the huge difference in the economies between British Columbia, Canada, and Uganda, where she's located. Whereas if I had to hire somebody to go off and do what this person was doing, oh my God, I'd have to pay on the low ball. I don't even think I could find somebody to do it for $300, honest to God. No, they'd want like, God, I don't even know, $500, $600, $700, not including materials. And that's to dismantle and put it back up. Yeah. Where she's thinking $15, but she's finding out it was, I don't know how much. She didn't write anything down yet in terms of under the description box. But, you know, either or, I only gave her $250 for this particular project, with 30 to 50 of those dollars basically for general expenses, depending on what those quote-unquote expenses are, right? Because, you know, when the first donation, she had to rent a vehicle in order to be able to deliver the sacks of beans and rice and whatever, because she couldn't carry it. That's an expense. All right. How she got that metal sheeting there, I don't know. But I'm sure she paid for it, right? So she's learning how to budget now with this kind of stuff, right? More so than what she had before, because she's got more to work with now. Clearly, she's getting the job done, right?
Guys, work here is expensive, but I'm going to they are trying to hit it from there. We are trying to remove this since we have bought new. These were new ones, brand new. They are outside, as I will show you. We bought nails. We bought 3-inch and 4-inch. So kilo that we bought for 8,000 and another one 6,000. The one which is 3-inch, the one with the cap. Mukulu. Musumali mpereza ko musumali eya kofira neri jetwagula. I'm just trying to ask where the nails are so that I show you what I'm talking about.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so as I'm looking here, now again, you can see better than me. I can barely see it, but I can see enough to see, right? So in a situation like that, that's probably what she's talking about. Cementing so that the structure doesn't come crumbling down, right? It's important because, like, even on my house in the front, right, it's important to keep the cement in between the bricks. Otherwise, too much comes, it all starts to go, right? But you can see there's a fair amount of something going on in here. Right, they were kind of cutting back on bricks here a bit. You can see. Okay, so let's go on. We'll just carry on for a little while longer, eh?
That's where the nails are so that I show you what I'm talking about.
See, this is what I wanted to do.
This one is 3-inch, the one where.
So, yeah, that is supposed to help keep the rain out, but are they putting silicone underneath there? Technically, there should be silicone. Otherwise, the water's going to backdraft into it. So I don't know if Lady Jane is going to take some cement after the fact and cement over that to keep the water out. Like, I'm really kind of concerned about this metal roof still leaking, because when I had my porch out in the back done with that plastic crap, which was a waste of money. It was quite expensive to buy it. And, you know, had to pay somebody to put it up there, and he put silicone under the screws, but even then, after a while, you know, over time, there's so much acid in the rains, it eats everything, right? So, I don't know if Lady Jane is aware that there should be the silicone or something underneath this, right? Otherwise, they're going to have to redo it. Or maybe put cement. Oh, I don't know. Okay, let's just listen.
Which is going to go on the iron sheets. And we also bought this. Guys, there is a lot of...
Like, these fellas are supposed to know what they're doing. Okay. Alright? Even though they're not wearing shoes, they're supposed to know what they're doing.
Business in this place here, so I have also to be careful because they are trying to dismantle from behind so that all those poles leave their place. I'm going to show you everything, guys. Just be
so as they're dismantling, they're having to reinforce.
Patient, be patient. I'm going to show you everything. So let me just drop that nail there so that doesn't disappear. And let me...
She needs to establish some trust with her workers. She's dealing with strange people, I think, like strangers. She doesn't really know them. And because we are dealing with a level of poverty, you know, temptation maybe might be a factor here where somebody might pinch a little of this or pinch a little of that. So needless to say, I think Lady Jane is slightly stressed out about it. you know, because it's not like she can afford to go off and buy more. And, you know, the people around her, you know, their emotions are like on high alert in terms of, well, how can this woman get help, but I can't get help? Or, you know, people get jealous, or just like I said, I know what it means to be a community activist, going off and doing stuff like this in the community and having to deal with multiple different types of personalities with, you know, different character traits and different needs, and just some are impatient, and, you know, some have the entitlement mentality, think they can just take what they want when they want it, and, or whatever. I'm assuming that these are good guys, you know, just out for a good day's work, and, you know, are kind of like big brothers to the children, I guess, in this case, in the community. You know, I told Lady Jane that's what she needs to talk to her crew about, encourage them to be the big brothers, the protectors in the community, because clearly the woman doesn't have a husband to do it, and this is where a community it takes a community to raise children. So, you know, when one man falls off the grid, you know, another one or two or three or four as a group, you know, the big brothers, the good guys, should step up to keep an eye on the most vulnerable within their community, and that might help to start curbing theft, right? Because that in itself is like, you know, people do it for different reasons. They do it for control, not so much because they need it, or they do it because, you know, they feel they have no other option, or, you know, there's different reasons why people steal, right? But she's in a very unique position where she's coming into contact with groups of men, right? Where she can, you know, say, hey, you know, keep an eye on things, keep everybody in check, and keep the bad guys away. Let them know, right? This, you know, it's like turfing. It's like they don't need to put graffiti on the wall saying this was our job. This is, you know, don't touch it, right? You know how people do graffiti, don't touch it. It's right. I'm not asking to put graffiti on the side of the house here, but at the end of the day, like, you know, these men are working hard. Nobody should go and ruin it for the people living inside of it. All right? And if they do come and try and steal, well, they're not just dealing with the mom. They're going to be dealing with the big brothers that helped build the house. Right? Because they're helping to build it. You know, they're making it more structurally sound. Right?
Actually show you
like a watch block, right? You know how you have watch blocks, block watches. You know, people on the block keep an eye on other people's property so that nobody gets robbed, that kind of thing.
like the whole place where the woman was sleeping, and the baby is here. There is a baby here. Baby, let me show you the baby guy. I'm just here with my little friend, baby.
No, he reminds me of Kyrie. He so looks like Kyrie. He's so cute.
Baby? Baby? Hey. So this is the kid for this woman, and this is where, like, she has really, I even don't know how to say thank you guys so much. This is another kid here, so it is early, so they go to the neighbor.
Yeah, one is a boy and one is a girl. I'm.
Yeah, back when you done it. Annie? Prose. Ono mwana mwala. This is a girl.
Yeah, she's a little girl. Normally, Lady Jane was saying that normally little girls wear dresses, and that's how it's easier for people to distinguish between girls and boys. Because at this age, you know, they pretty much look in the same, right? But, again, there's only so much money, so mom dresses the little girl in whatever she has, right? So Lady Jane wants to go off and buy, I guess, some clothes for the kids at some point in the future here. So I'm assuming this little girl is going to end up getting a few dresses along the way, right? Just saying.
Oh, no? This is a boy, eh?
And this is a little boy who reminds me of my little grandson, Kyrie. Oh, he's so cute. He's the one that brings happiness seriously, to a whole new level. Like he's gonna be a real character when he gets older. Oh yeah, he's gonna be very personable. Yeah, I can see that already. I hope Lady Jane gets him a couple of toy trucks. Yeah, he'll grow up to be a construction worker owning his own business. Yeah.
Onomlenzi, onomwala. This is a girl, guys, because she's putting on a trouser. I've been thinking ever since actually I started coming here. I always find her on a short, and if we Africans, when you see someone putting on a short, we expect that person to be a boy. So is a girl. It's called Prosi. She's a girl. She's called the Prosi. I don't know much about me. Annie, Peter. This one.
Peter. Oh, Peter is so cute. Peter has captured my heart. Oh, yeah. He's the meaning of the word happiness. Peter is the one that brings a whole new meaning to happiness. For sure.
It's called the Peter. Actually, they confuse me. There are many. Some are not here. There are really many. So they are.
She doesn't say how many. I had 5 kids, Lady Jane. Yeah. That's rough. But it's more rough when you live in a country where your children aren't safe. And this is where you need to speak to the men and tell them to form a coalition so that the children in their community are safe, including their food. And that if thieves get caught stealing food from the children, they will be dealt with by the men.
These ones, they are like 3. The same size, guys. The same size. So they confuse me anyway. So
Separate the men from the boys.
guys, get back to the work. So this is the bed where she sleeps with the kids.
Okay, well, I don't see very well, but what I can see is a frame. Okay, that must be the base of the frame. From what I could tell, she only had a foam mattress to which it was sitting on slats, which clearly couldn't be very comfortable. Right? I'm just saying. So there needs to be something else there. Because that would be a bumpy mattress, that's for sure.
But see what the water had done to the...
Yeah, you see, that's just a foam mattress. Right?
To the what? I'm actually thinking of not buying
Yeah.
food, and I buy the mattress instead, guys.
So she had a choice between more food or a mattress. With what little she had left from what I gave her for the roof. In the end, she ended up buying more food and some sheets, which made the mother extremely happy and brought it to a whole new level.
But I'm saying that she needs both, so I will see what to do.
Yeah, she needs both.
Guys, I'll see what to do. She needs the mattress. This is where this woman sleeps, guys. So instead of buying food, why?
So when these things get soggy, because I have my couch, right? And I'm always having to deal with the Mari and whatever. And every now and then, I'll take it, take the cover off the foam, which is similar to this, take it to the bathroom, and I'll spray down the foam cushion seat a little bit with some water, but not too much where it's completely saturated. Because this stuff just sucks up water, like seriously. And then let it drip dry in my bathtub. So it depending on how long it's sat being saturated for with water, right? It may or may not be able to be salvaged, because even if she doesn't use it to sleep on, she could use it to make a chair or something else, right? Right? I'm just saying, and I know Lady Jane is watching my videos. I know Lady Jane. I do long videos, so in a situation like this, you can just have me rattling around in the background. You can listen. You don't have to watch the video. Obviously, it's 3 hour. This is going to be a 3-hour video, right? That's just the way I roll, you know. But in a situation like this, depending on how deteriorated the foam is, it is possible. Try and wash it, and then let the sun do its magic in order to bleach it and to remove bacteria, any molds. Not that mold really grows on foam, because it doesn't per se, but to disinfect it and just give it a good bleach under the sun, not for long periods of time, because the sun will eat the foam depending on how old the foam is, right? I mean, if the foam is old and it's deteriorating, it's going to crumble between your fingers after it starts to dry out. You'll know, right? Right? So before you chuck it out, try and salvage it if you can. There is no shame to that game, okay? Although people will criticize you for it. I know, because I salvage mattresses myself, right? And people think I'm unfit, even though what I just recently did, and that's why I put that one first. You make your bed, you lie in it. Boy, oh boy, that bed that's now sitting up on that bunk bed in the bedroom is real comfy cozy. So if you can salvage this, I would highly recommend it. Although it looks like here, from what I can tell, see, I can't really tell, but here it looks like the foam itself might be starting to deteriorate, where over here some of it seems to be okay, right? This one is holding its structure more, where this one maybe not so much. So it's a hit and miss. So, you know, if you can't save it all, you can maybe save some of it, and then you can make little chairs or something with it. Maybe. It's hard to say.
Why don't we buy mattress? She sleeps here with the kids, guys. Ever since this woman's husband passed on, this is the life she has been passing on, and this is the section where
I'm trying to turn up the
things, though she's going to put the things
Oh my
outside.
God, I hate my freaking mouse.
Where the door is, where to come out
Yeah.
from, and this is the floor.
Oh my God, I'm trying to find the mouse here.
And I still call upon where they have to put cement and they mix them together. So I tried, I was like, God, help me.
Okay, so the door. Where's the door? Where's the door? I don't know.
To do, she needs the mattress. This is where this woman sleeps, guys. So instead of buying food, why don't we buy mattress? She sleeps here with the kids, guys. Ever since this woman's husband passed on, this is the life she has been passing on, and this is the section where she puts her things, though she's going to put the things outside. This is the entrance.
Yeah, see? This is the entrance. It's a cloth. I can see that. Unless there's a door there, maybe this is the door. Maybe it does have a door. Either or. I don't know. Lady Jane's gonna check into it.
Where the door is, where to come out from, and this is the floor, where how the floor looks.
Okay, well, I can't see how the floor looks, really. I don't know what I'm looking at, because I can't. Everything blurs together. My eyesight's getting worse.
And I still call upon where they have to put cement and the sand, they mix them together. So I tried, I was like, God, help me in this. What exactly should I do for this woman? Because she really needs help, guys. So for now, let us first put the roof, because The other roof we have moved. There is no roof there, guys. So let me just come here. Let me just come here and I show you guys. So there is no roof, as you can see. There is no roof. There is no roof. We have removed the roof actually. We have removed them, though we didn't show you.
Andre, quiet.
We are removing, so we are going to put that one there, the new one. The
Andre, stop it.
new one, the new roof. And this is where the woman cooks, guys. There is nothing to hide here.
So Lady Jane is going to recycle the old metal and make a more safer cooking area by, I guess, lining the area with the metal so that if a spark should fly, because she cooks with wood and whatever, it's not going to catch the house on fire, right? So it'd be like a fire, hood of just whatever. So that was impressive when she mentioned that in her video. That was a really good idea.
This is where the woman cooks.
See, Lady Jane and I are kind of similar. She likes to buy in bulk. I like to buy in bulk. She likes to repurpose and reuse things and salvage and create new things. I like to do that too.
There, and that is her there. Today she didn't go to dig because I told her.
Today she didn't go to dig. Because she's digging for food, people. That's the only way she can feed her family. At best, 1 meal a day prior to what's happening now. Okay? This is the level of poverty that we're discussing here.
That today we have to work, and I also need to converse with her.
Even though her children are safer in her own country than if they were to ever come to Canada at this point, because the older her children get in Canada, they just become targeted for body parts. So more reason to help these people in their own countries. Versus thinking, oh, we'll just wait for the government of Canada to bring them in as a refugee or this, that, and everything else under the sun, and, let the taxpayers pay for it. No. Not unless you've got nefarious reasons. Right? If you've got nefarious reasons and it's a ching, 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 ching situation later on down the line, then yeah, I can understand why you think that way. But, the world is at a place where we need to be helping other people in their own countries more than what we've been doing. Yeah.
Just to converse as like.
That's why I say she's rich. She doesn't have to worry about the things I went through with my kids. Being completely blindsided, not realizing what was coming until it was too freaking late, and not being able to stop it. Yeah. And then coming to the conclusion that ain't nobody safe in this country. In Canada, that is. Unless, of course, you're of a certain kind of breed. With a certain amount of quote-unquote money. Right? If you don't fit that ethnic group and you don't belong, forget it. You'll never be safe. She's safe, we just have to make it safer for her. But even her own community needs to jump back up on the bandwagon and make the community itself as a whole safe. And this is where the men need to step up to the plate. Right? Will they ever get that message? Well, it's hard to say. Because they're not going to get it from me, because ain't nobody in this village watching my videos. I can tell you that right now. But Lady Jane can put the bee in their bonnet, being that she's working with them now, right? Help them to build their self-confidence, right? Let them take control of their quote-unquote community and be in charge to keep the quote-unquote riff-raff out, or at least in check when it comes to quote-unquote thieves, right? Lady Jane and I and everybody else involved here doesn't have time to do all this, invest our time, money, energy, whatever it is, to have some thief come in the middle of the fucking night, sorry, boo-boo night, and take it away from her and children. Because that seems to be the biggest issue right now when it comes to, what is she at risk at? Right? I mean, it's enough that she has to go through the things that she's going through with inadequate living conditions, I guess you could say. And the last thing she needs to worry about is stupid thieves. Well, come to Canada, you have to worry about your children being murdered out here just so that stupid thieves can take their organs and partner up with a corrupt government so that information stays hidden. Yeah. So they can do it again and again and again. And they like to target certain ethnic groups, and black people happen to be one of them, and that's just the harsh reality of it.
Conversing, because this woman needs what we call guidance and counseling, because she's passing through a lot. Even on Sunday she goes to dig so that she gets what to eat with the children. And since she's suffering a lot, she carries some of her 2 children, and she took abana bajirewa abagenzewa abana bataliwo wano baliwa. I'm asking her because last time I came, kids were really many, so I was just asking her where are the children, like the ones I know that they are at their auntie's place. So because really they used to eat once, but ever since I started bringing.
You heard that. Before Lady Jane started bringing them food, which has only happened in the last 10 or 12 days, 15 days or whatever, from the first time I made a donation for the little girl and somebody else in the neighborhood to whom Lady Jane chose this woman with her children, this woman's children were only eating once a day from what the mother was digging out of the ground. Basically living in a shanty shack. But even shanty shacks can be homes, because I know I lived in a shanty shack. Right? And when I look back, it wasn't that bad.
Ever since I brought food here, you people saw them.
That's when I was looking after Gary, and my landlady was schizophrenic, and I lived there for 3.5 years looking after Gary, a little girl, so that she wasn't removed from her mother's care. As I worked on a foundation that put me into $50,000 in debt. And for what? For the experience of it, people.
Video. There is something which has changed. Like, you find the... Yeah?
If I had $50,000 right now, hard, cold cash, and sent it to Lady Jane, do you know how much she could do for her community with $50,000? Nobody would be left behind, that's for sure.
Right now they're boiling breakfast. Yesterday she cooked even lunch. Supper was cooked. Like the whole day I was with them since we were buying. This is the poles which we are going to put up, the one we bought. And this was the old iron sheets which we have removed. So we're going to put new ones only. So this is where we are going to put the so guys, we got some other added issue here. So we are removing the poles, all the poles at the corner, and we are putting new ones. So we have to purchase more poles, like 3 of them. We have to purchase more poles, like.
So yeah, they're doing structural repairs so it won't fall down when the winds come and the heavy rains come. Right?
3 of them. And they are really expensive also, the poles. But we have to, what I want, like for now, my interest is in the house first. Then others will come later. I even don't know whether this will get done today. But let me see. This is our fundi. Fundi. Uza kubakulaba babuze ko. Bagambe muli mutiya babuze. So the food is greeting you. By the way, you know some little English. Babuze muluzungu. How are you? Sister, I'm working.
See? And doing this also helps to stimulate the economy because this guy's employed, right? So he taking money home to his family, right?
So he has just greeted you that how are you? He's working. So guys, let us just do our work quietly because I need to let him concentrate because every when I'm recording, he's making him like scared or something. So let him do his work. I will show you bit by bit. So guys, this is our mama baby, mama Mariamu. Only omwala yani, si Mariamu no naliwa. Mariam Taliwan. So she's people here in the village, they normally call her Mama Mariam. She has a daughter called Mariam. Mariam, your firstborn. Mariam is the firstborn. Here in Africa, when you hear someone is being called like, for example, Mama Jane, I'm trying to put my name here, Mama Jane, it means that I'm the firstborn of my father. Just know that Jane girl, even though the person is dead, they still call you with that name. So, Mama, Otugambachi.
Oh, Lordy, hold on.
It's on and off, on and off.
Anyway, I'm back now recording. So, I don't know. This hard disk drive might be getting full. Who freaking knows? Camera's plugged in, so I'm not worried about the battery, but I am kind of worried about the hard drive, right, being full. So, let's just listen. This is Mom. Clearly, she's looking more relaxed, you can see. She's not as stressed out as she was when we first seen her. When she had that surprise visit by Lady Jane with the food and didn't expect it coming. And now, she didn't expect this coming either. Lady Jane just showed up and said, okay, this is what we're going to do. Let's do it. So the lady's like, wow, okay. And I guess she's trying to say something here, so let's see.
Thank you very much. May God bless you.
Yeah, so I'll just go back. Lady Jane is giving her a chance to say something, right? Because, you know, she didn't see it coming. She mentioned it in her first video, but just because you ask doesn't mean you're going to receive, right? But it never hurts to ask, though. You see, that's the thing, right?
So, Mama, Otugambachi. Thank you very much. May God bless you. Where you have gotten the money to?
Wherever you have gotten the money to, I'm a juggler. I'm a gambler. I'm a wheeling and dealer. I like to stick my neck out and take chances in life. I'm not afraid to make things happen if I can make them happen. Okay? Let's just say it that way.
To give me to roof this house, may God give you back.
Well, if God is to ever give me back anything, when my time comes to leave my rental unit that I've been living in 14 years into a corrupt housing market where there is no affordable housing anymore, because the people who live in the monster homes, and when I say monster home, that's exactly what I'm talking about, have everything on lockdown in this province where people like me can't afford houses like what I'm renting right now because of the corruption in the housing market in general, which is being propped up by illegal organ harvesting through the black market. Okay? I'm just saying. So, if God was to help me in any capacity, it would be to make sure that I get to a safe destination when I leave this house, assuming I leave it alive. And that's just the reality of it. Okay. I'm okay right now. But once I walk out my door and I never come back, that's when my life is in danger. Not to say it hasn't been in danger while living in this house, because I've lost 2 daughters to the corruption that goes on in the province of British Columbia, Canada, in addition to Uncle John being medically kidnapped, robbed by thieves of his inheritance, and then locked away like a dirty secret. Yeah. And so on and so on and so on. those are heavy crosses to carry. With whips on your back yet to boot. If I had $50,000 in one lump sum for everything that this nonprofit is worth, I would gladly hand it over to Lady Jane to carry on with her work with the people that she's working with, whether they're adults or children.
But I also want, like, if it is possible, you people, you help me and work on the floor.
So, you people, no, it's Mama Lynn. It's one person. Even Lady Jane says, if it wasn't for you, it wouldn't get done, Mama Lynn. Yeah. And that's why I'm doing these follow-up videos, to encourage other people to jump on the bandwagon and help somebody outside of their norm. All right? Don't cast no stones until you walk in their shoes. Yeah. And there's always somebody out there that's got it a whole lot worse than you. That's for sure. Right? Yeah. And if you notice, she's asking, because it doesn't hurt to ask. Right? That's my motto. It never hurts to ask.
Oh, well, never mind.
Unabawa wano. Wano sawa zino nabirawa. Wano nabawa. Mother, she's very happy. Ever since yesterday I brought the iron sheet, the happiness has not left this woman. She's very happy. Like yesterday she did this. What was that here? So I just told her to do what she did yesterday, and that's exactly what she did in Bo. Like, she didn't expect it, actually, guys. Like, happiness is on another level, but...
See? Happiness is on another level. So mommy's got happiness on another level. The kids are cluing in. Little Peter's got happiness on another level. Like, come on. Right? Why wouldn't I be happy? Of course I'm happy, people.
At this juncture, allow me to give a shout out to Mama Lynn.
There, she's shouting out to me, to Mama Lynn. Yeah.
From Canada, she's the one who's bringing all this happiness in my village.
See, she acknowledges that, and I appreciate that, Lady Jane. Yep.
That doesn't make sense. I felt like several...
And I want to call upon all my fans, like all my subscribers, to go and subscribe to her YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel name is New Nationals.
She keeps getting that wrong. It's New Nations Unity. However, we know YouTube's antics, right? We know I'm on lockdown with the shadow banning, and as a matter of fact, I was reading transcripts. They don't even put the Lynn part with the Mama Lynn. They go mama, and they just keep on. They're deleting purposely the Lynn part. Yeah, through transcripts. I noticed that. The first video where she mentioned Mama Lynn, it had L-I or something, or L-Y. That was it. And then on this video, she mentions Mama Lynn, but they don't even put the word Lynn in there. That tells me that YouTube is shadow banning. Oh yeah. And then I explained to Lady Jane that don't worry about asking your subscribers to subscribe to my channel, because basically I walk in two worlds. Well, I walk more than two worlds. I walk between the living and the dead, right? Living with what I've got here in the house with my grandkids and my remaining living children. But then on the other hand, you know, Uncle John's dead, Shmai's dead, Sierra's dead. That's a lot of dead people in a short period of time for nefarious reasons. They all died under suspicious, nefarious, bad reasons, to which the government of British Columbia, Canada, is covering up. just so that whatever those nefarious reasons can carry on, and the people that do that kind of stuff can hurt others. All right. Andre, shut up, okay? And then the other part of my world that I walk in, so there's that world between the living and the dead, so there's that part, right? And then this part over here, because of the foundation that I founded in and the type of society that I live in, and just with human nature in general, you know, I'm dealing with a lot of prejudices, bigotries, racism, just the whole 9 yards, right? Where, you know, white people don't necessarily want to help black people. You know, black people don't necessarily trust white people because of slavery and institutional racism and, you know, and whatever, right? You know, I've been working on the nonprofit a long time. People come across all kinds of different people from different ethnic groups. Punjabis like to stick with Punjabis. You know, they're not interested in helping the collective when it comes to a whole province, as it is per se helping their own and maybe making a few donations to the children's hospital. But outside of that, you're on your own, right? Same thing with the Chinese, Hindus, whatever. We know that. So, you know, I'm suspecting the majority of her subscribers are probably black like her, like Lady Jane. That's her group, peer group, right? And, you know, chances of them wanting to subscribe to my channel, right? Especially when it's a hit and miss and you don't know what kind of videos I'm going to get. And I do cuss more than I say boo-boo. I swear more than I say boo-boo, right? And I'm passionate about certain things, and I don't let certain things go, especially when it comes to corruption, and I talk about uncomfortable subjects. You know, the many channels to choose from, so I don't expect her followers to follow me because of what I'm doing, especially knowing that YouTube will put on the brakes wherever they can to prevent that from even happening, so they can keep me in check. They're bitch. All right? I'm not doing it for subscribers. I'm not doing it for brownie points. I'm doing it because it's the right thing to do, and I can do it at this point in my life. Although I let Lady Jane know that there will come a time when I won't be able to do it, right? Where I won't be able to do it for different reasons, right? Do you see? This is where she wants to come in with the cement. Because if this brick comes out, everything will start to crumble. So she has to fix this up. Right? Over here too. Where am I? Where's my finger? What am I looking at? You can see. Right in here. Anyway, don't worry about that. You're just embarrassing yourself, Lady Jane. Not in the sense of embarrassing yourself, but ain't nobody gonna listen to you and come subscribe to me just because you told them. Because they're stuck in their ways at this point, right? They're suspicious. They're mistrustful. They're wondering what my end game is. They're probably wondering why I would even go out of my way to do such a thing, right? You know what I'm saying? Or maybe they're very hurt because of what, quote unquote, white people have done to their country in terms of corporations coming in and taking resources and basically enslaving the people into slave wages and abandoning, you know, the people, right? Exploiting the people, taking the resources from the country and not providing for the people, you know, like that stays with people, right? You know, they're not going to want to jump on my bandwagon on my channel, especially if I'm going on about my corrupt government from one video to the next. Even in this video, I bring up because I want people to realize that it is not safe for African people to come to Canada. It's just not. Yeah, maybe as a single man, perhaps, you know, maybe one or two families might sneak through, but sooner or later, You know, if your kids get caught up in a bunch of bullshit, which is, there is a lot of freaking bullshit, like worse bullshit that you can even imagine, you know, their numbers are going to be called. They're either going to go disappearing in the community to never be heard from again, and you know something happened to them, bad, right? Or they're going to end up dead. They're either going to get shot and their organs will be harvested. They're either going to get murdered by fentanyl and their organs will be more than likely illegally harvested, because that's where the big money is in Canada. They get hundreds of thousands of thousands of dollars off of one dead body. And then they take that money and they funnel it into the housing market, right? They build their freaking ugly looking buildings, just stacking packs, right? Push poor families, you know, whatever, just families in general that are in the rentals, the old bungalows like I'm living in right now. What was $1,500? Geez, I moved in 2009, right? In 2009, I rented this place at $1,550, I think it was, when I came in, for like basically 2010, really. And, you know, we're in 2024 now, so that's 14 years. And within the last 14 years, you know, my landlady can get $4,500 a month and start the process all over again. I'm not fixing anything. Take it as is. They're going to be tearing down the house. The property developers are coming, right? You know, that's why I'm not going to fix this. I'm not going to fix the porch, because what for? The property developer is going to buy up the property, tear down the house, kick you out onto the streets. I will have less than what this woman has, people. Seriously. At least she's not being ran out of her house. Nobody's asking her to get rid of her stuff so they can kick her out onto the streets and leave her with nothing. But they are in Canada. No African's going to want to listen to that when they got their own problems. I'm just saying. So don't worry about it, Lady Jane. If they want to subscribe, they'll subscribe. Just get the New Nations Unity correct. But then I come in and I comment with New Nations Unity. So if they really want to go see my channel, they can click on that and it takes you to my channel. Right? I'm not doing it for subscribers. I've been dealing with YouTube since... Andre, shut up! I've been dealing with YouTube since 2009. Trust me, they hardcore ride my ass with the shadow banning. Just the mind fuckery. Okay? Boobery. Right. Boobery. Yeah. Yeah, they got me on lockdown. They work in partnership with my corrupt government to try and control what I have to say about the corruption that goes on in Canada. So yeah, why wouldn't I want to help a woman with her family and a child looking after her siblings after her mother died in another country if I can? I can. And I don't need subscribers to do that. No. Actions speak louder than words. Yeah, it's all about actions.
Unity. The first letters are capital letters, guys. The new with the people they were complaining to the new with the capital N. Small.
New Nations Unity was supposed to represent two countries coming together, Canada and the United States of America, to make positive change for the people of both countries, in addition to doing outreach to other countries like Africa, India, or places like that where families in need needed help. But that's not what our governments are interested in. Instead, they're conspiring to create civil war in the United States of America. Shut up! In the United States of America, as they're trying to prevent an election from occurring so they can keep on with their agenda, right? To manufacture even more poverty across the United States of America. So the elite get richer Well, the poor become poor as they bring in their robots and robotoids to take over the workforce and harvest organs. As everybody's falling off the freaking cliff. While in Canada, it's pretty much the same thing.
Follow you, then nationals. The way the spelling of nationals. They are.
So I basically gave up trying, and I'm doing what I can do, and this I can do. And Lady Jane is true to her word. She's doing what she can do. Yeah. And it's bringing a whole new level of happiness, which is great. And if the world could be more like that, the world would be a better place. Period.
One word altogether, then unity, the unity as you know it. So her channel is called New Nationals Unity.
No, New Nations Unity. Two countries coming together to make a change, a positive change, working together. Being that United States of America and Canada are supposed to be wealthy countries. But isn't it interesting how I'm facing homelessness and I won't even be able to get a shanty shack where I can afford to live there? Go figure. And I live in a rich country. At least this woman has a house and ain't nobody trying to run her out of it. And Lady Jane is on the ball here. She knows what she's doing. She knows that that needs to be cemented up in order to keep the structure in place. And the more she does this kind of stuff, the more experienced and knowledgeable she becomes on it. She's the boss.
So you can go and subscribe to her YouTube channel. You can tell her Jane Modo, send us to subscribe to your YouTube channel. I'll be so grateful if you guys do that because she has been so supportive. Like, she has been really so supportive, and she's also not doing well, but she feels pain of like someone who's poor. Like,
yeah, you see, the thing about not doing well is everybody's got problems, right? And once you realize that everybody's got problems, your problems, you know, it is what it is. It's all how you deal with them, cope with them, pace yourself through them, and not be a quitter, right? You know what I'm saying? That's the only way you can get through life, right? I mean, I don't expect my life to be, I don't know. I'm a train wreck, Lady Jane. Not because I'm a train wreck, but because my community with their greed has created the train wreck. And they feed off of the negative energy. They feed off of the injury. They feed off of the harm that they bring to vulnerable families. That's all part and parcel of manufactured poverty, how some can prosper and many don't. So I'm not the only one in that situation, right? And as for my eyes, well, I mean, like, technically living in Canada with the healthcare system that we have here, there's no rhyme or reason why this happened to me outside of my government is corrupt. They came in with these COVID policies that made it where doctors weren't answering their phone. You know, they weren't accepting new patients. I couldn't get a referral. My own family doctor turned me away, told me to take him to court because he was hiding pertinent evidence through my daughter's medical files at the clinic. Wouldn't give me my daughter's medical files at the clinic, and told me to take him to court. So, you know, with him telling me to take him to court, I couldn't get a referral from him. You know, time went by. I'm busy. Next thing you know, the diploma got caught up on me. And yeah, I'm going blind. at 62 years old with lots of energy left yet inside of me, which really doesn't make any sense, other than I guess God wants me to see something that I can't see with good eyes sooner or later. But I'm already seeing things without even being completely blind. And when I go completely blind, then yeah, it's going to be a totally different freaking ball game, because then I become more dependent and more easy to take advantage of. But while I still have control of my life, I'm going to do what I think is best, right? So, and you know, compared to this woman's problems right now in the here and now, compared to my problems in the here and now, I think her problems are more important than what I'm dealing with. Okay? When I get to a state like her, if I should ever get to that state in terms of homelessness, living in less than a shanty shack, locked away like a dirty secret in some old folks' home, my kids can't be bothered looking after me because I'm so burdensome to them, well, obviously I won't be in the mix anymore. But by that time, between you and I, maybe this woman will be more independent, self-reliant, confident, to push forward with her own torch, to maintain looking after her own family, as she herself learned a valuable lesson to, once she's situated, she can help somebody else in her own community. Right? Right? We're just helping her to get to that point. We're helping her to build some confidence and take some control of her life so that she can build in a future not only for herself but for her children. That's what you and I are doing, Lady Jane. Okay? I couldn't do it without you. All right? And you couldn't do it without me at this point. But how we convince others to help and get on that page with us, I don't know. Will it ever happen? I don't know. People get stuck in their ways. People are always quick to criticize, put you down, judge you, say things are you can't do it, it's impossible, you're expecting too much, you know, whatever. They always got an excuse not to do anything, right? And the more successful you become, sometimes, depending on the person, the harder they try to tear you down. Because ultimately, at the end of the day, they're jealous that they can't do it, but you can. So you keep going on like a steam engine, okay? And chugging along, gaining skills. You're going to make a great boss one day if you ever decide to go into the construction industry, right? You know what I'm saying? That's why it's important for these little boys running around to have a few little trucks or something like that. Just some little boy toys, trucks, cars, right? So that they get a taste through play. Yeah. And maybe they'll grow up, and by that time, who knows where you'll be doing what you're doing. Maybe you get them a job. Yeah. And because they love you so much for doing what you did for them, they'll look after you, Lady Jane, when you get older and need help. All right? They'll help you with your business. If you ever decide to go into the construction industry, that is. I'm just saying. You never know, Lady Jane. Life has a way of taking you places where you just don't know till you get there. And when you get there, you can't be afraid to face it. Right? Take the bull by the horns. Yeehaw!
Needed. So at this point, I want to take this opportunity to thank us so much, because it's not easy. Then another thing which I want to pass out yesterday, like transporting this thing were not easy, but all in all, I thank God that they are here and the work is ongoing, and the person who's doing the work is just there. Is just there.
Well, see, he's happy. He got a smile on his face. He's like, holy crumb, what's going on here? This is great. Working under the sun. Oh my Lord, hold on a minute. All right, Tisha wants to go dancing tomorrow. So she wants me to babysit. So I said I would. even though my house is zooey right now because I've been bringing out a bunch of crap from my bedroom, and I'm sorting out the other bedroom, and tons of clothes all over the place, picking through them, bagging up, bagging up things that don't fit Amari anymore or whatever. Andre goes to go play with his little friends across the street, comes home with another big bag of freaking clothes, as if I need more bags of clothes. But besides that point, okay, so let's just get on with this. And it's a long video, but technically, honestly, I should probably clear this external hard drive. Maybe I'll do that, and then I'm going to come back before I follow up on this. So hold on a minute. Okay, I'm back. A little while later. I'm burning out here. So anyway, this is just something I want to do, people. Right? Like I said, if I can spend over $50,000 on a non-profit that got me absolutely nowhere except targeted by the British Columbia and Canadian government and their partner groups and corrupt organized religion cohorts, whatever you want to call them, I can do this for some stranger sitting up in some country that is clearly in trouble. Okay. So I was going to turn this back on and then we'll just listen for a minute.
It's just there. So we only have him. Why? Because this house is very small, and also we are trying to save some money to buy for the woman foodstuffs, and I'm still betting on blanket, or we buy for her the mattress, and also I want to get some clothes for the kids because I just want them to have better anyway. So that is all I want to tell you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I know this video is going to be long, but please try to watch the video.
No, my videos get long, Lady Jane.
The end, and subscribe, hit on that notification bell and support me, guys.
This is important. In my opinion, it wasn't long enough. But then that's just me, right?
So I'm also going to put the way I spent the money.
So maybe there is a door there. I don't know. It's hard to say. Maybe she hangs the blanket to keep the flies out and stuff like that. But the door open to try and cool it off. Because it can get pretty hot. Look, this one just keeps coming up, eh? Now you see, if this brick comes out, everything starts to crumble. So they have to cement it, people. Otherwise, it makes the building unstable, right? One brick comes, the whole thing can go.
In the description, I want you guys to see everything. So only like the labor for roofing this. And since he's the one going to even cut, he has to cut these poles. We couldn't use the timbers for a best reason known to the person, our engineer here. He said that if we use the, timbers, when you buy them from where they sell them, it is already, they are wet, they are heavy. So he said it will make the house like fall down. So we use the normal poles, which the house had before. So, like only this work, we have not even put the money for transporting, guys. Transport, what, 70,000 pounds. So.
Okay, so when their money exchange is completely different than ours.
Door.
Oh, now it's the door. Hold on. Boy. Okay, so we'll just finish it. We got about another 6.5, 7 minutes.
Everything, like, I just don't know, like, everything is mine.
Oh, my Lord.
It is already, they are wet, they are heavy. So he said it will make the house like fall down. So we use the normal poles, which the house had before. So, like, only this work, we have not even put the money for transporting, guys. Transport, what, 70,000 pounds. So everything, like, I just don't know, like, everything is money. So Mama is here. She's just going to prepare for us. This one is pumpkin leaves. Pumpkin leaves. Angie is the one she's going to to prepare. So the panga with for cutting is just right there. So it's going to cut. I'm even seeing that he has charged us little money for the labor because work here is too much, guys. But I also try to bargain, guys, because we want some money for buying for the lady food, and also I'm betting on the other thing I told you guys. But before the day ends, I'll see what to do. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Continue supporting. The other long ones again, they're going to sit on it. Eh? Oh, so guys, I also have to learn something. I was just asking him, why is he putting that? There is a pole which he has put. So the other one, the long ones, we are going to put them straight. Straight this way. Like straight, coming this side where I am. So guys, I had to add in more laborers. The person who's going to hit the iron sheet on top is different, guys. I thought they were talking to me. So I had to add in more laborers. That means that even money is going. So, and time has really gone. So some iron sheets there, the other side, some are still here. So those are that guy you see there, that one standing. That one is the one going to hit the iron sheet up. I'll show you. So this is like the final process remaining.
So I guess the nails go in there. So it must have some kind of a caulking or something.
Again, the nails were not enough.
There's another one like that.
And he's the one who knows more about the iron sheets. Like for now, I'm actually climbing this ladder to show you guys. You see this ladder here? I'm up, guys, up. Because I want you guys to see the final product, but I will put everything in the description. You see how the money has been spent. Like, I really don't know whether other things will even be done, but I'm going to try and fix everything. Right, so guys.
See, I don't know. Is the water gonna leak through there, Lady Jane? That's not flush. That one is, but over time it's gonna bend. So maybe it has some sort of a rubber or something inside of it. Here's more. Alright. And then what about this? That's not flush. There's a gap in there. But they must know what they're doing, right? There's a certain way that you lay these things so when it rains, the water doesn't backdraft. Right?
I would like to just end the video here.
I hope.
I say thank you guys so much.
Yeah, see, look what's going on over here. I mean, it would be a real shame if this thing is gonna leak. Yeah.
Much for watching. May God bless you. Consider subscribing. subscribing, hit on that notification bell.
Here it is again over here. You can see it. What does that mean, Lady Jane? Over here.
So that you'll be notified every time I upload a video. Bye guys. Stay cool. I just want to go home right now because it's already 6 and since morning haven't even eaten. I've been here in the site trying to see that nothing is being stolen, nothing is.
Water will go in. Or does it just run off because of the way it is? Oh.
Being taken so that everything goes on well. I'm 100% sure only one iron sheet remaining to be put at that where he's seated right now. So the tingle is tingling. Bye guys. See you. Baby, come. Come. You come and tell people.
So that's the ceiling. See right here, what is this? You can see that. Oh.
For that, for us today, we are sleeping like kings and queens. Come, tell them, thank you. So guys, they are beating the last iron sheet. So I have also to show you this. Tell them hi guys. Abantu babuze ko nawe. Babuza ku bantu babuza kuba kulaba. Bagambe muli mutya. Just njagala kubalaga ne munda already maze okubalaga wamu.
Maybe things settle down. But that probably helps to release hot air, because you know hot air rises, right? So that probably helps to let the hot air escape.
So I'm standing up. The next
I want to know what's going on with this corner over here.
is the site of the house. Please, as you guys can see, the work is done, as you guys can see, but there is somewhere here we have to buy cement and they fix there. That will be done tomorrow, guys. So this is the woman. Maybe she tells us her final say as she's going to be organizing her house here. It's just short of word that thank you so much, may God bless you. Like, she can't believe this can't happen to her, guys.
See, she's happy. Right. She's very happy.